Good afternoon and welcome to Scrapbooking with a Twist. I know it's been a long time. I had some friends the other day say, are you ever going to post another video? And I had 1,000 things to do today and I thought, you know what? I think I'm going to post a video. So we're going to make a card today and I think you'll enjoy it. We're going to double emboss. I don't know if you've ever double embossed before. And so I'm going to show you that little technique. But let's kind of get our card going. I have some of the things pre-done so that the video doesn't last too terribly long. And let's just get going. So I've already cut my layer for my card front. It's going to go on just a white cardstock. This is going to be my layer. It's going to be a white cardstock. So I want to, it's really a colored core, but when you do things on it, it lightens up. And so I'm going to distress the edges. See how it lightens up? Even though it's not really a white core, it still lightens up. I'm not sure. This has been in my stash forever. I'm not even sure. I think it came in a paper pad, what kind of paper it is. But I want to give that some character around the edges. Actually, you know, I think I'll just go ahead and do the twist while I'm doing this, since it takes a minute. My twist today is the story of the woman that had the issue of blood for 12 years. And this lady had spent all the money she had going to doctors, and we can identify with that. And they just couldn't cure her. And so it was serious. And so Jesus was coming to her town. And so she began to fight the crowds to get close enough to him just to touch his garment. She touched his garment and she was healed. And he says, who touched me? And the disciples said, Lord, you're in a crowd. Everybody's touching. And he said, no, someone touched me with faith for healing. And so my point of this story today is, when was the last time that we really reached out in faith to touch Jesus for healing? Not necessarily for physical healing, maybe for physical healing, but for healing in our marriages, healing in our families, healing in our nation. Oh my goodness. I mean, it's scary. I voted today. It's scary today where our nation is and where we're maybe headed. You know, I just read this thing on that it looks like we're going to run out of diesel. If we run out of diesel, then farmers can't farm and trucks can't deliver, and so that means food shortages and planes can't fly and trains can't run, and on and on and on. And so I thought, you know, it's time to just reach out and touch the hem of his garment, just like the woman with the issue of blood. We need to, in faith, reach out and touch Jesus. Pray in faith that he will forgive us, that he will heal us. There's more to it than just, you know, asking for his blessings. We need to be willing to serve him and be faithful to him. It's not all of him giving and us not giving, but I think there's certainly a lesson to be learned from her, that when we look to the Lord in faith, that he's there for us. And I'm not saying that every time you're sick in every situation, that even if you have faith, that you're going to be healed. But you can be healed in many ways. So anyway, that's the twist for today. So just keep that in mind and pray about our nation and pray about situations and have the faith to just go to Jesus in faith for your needs. I'm using now, I was just roughing this up with my scissors. Now I'm using my fingernail file. I just kind of like to finish it off with my fingernail file. I actually do quite a bit with my fingernail file. Especially like you can just kind of almost round corners, but still keep them real distressed. And I kind of like that look. So I think I'm going to maybe go with that. I think I'll go with that. Kind of messy, but there it is. Okay, so that's going to be the start of it. And then I'm going to do some layers. I want a white layer, and then This is embossed, and I used this little embossing folder from Stampin' Up. It's a little dotted Swiss embossing folder, and I embossed this little piece of lighter colored paper that I want to layer those right there, I think. So let's go ahead and do that. I think I may go ahead and kind of work on the edges of this little white one a bit too, just to kind of keep it going with that same look. Another good thing this is for, like, sometimes you cut paper and it gives you that kind of ragged, unsmooth, look, especially if your blade and your cutter's getting dull or something like that. And this cleans that up pretty nicely, just to run it along there, pretty easy. Or you, like I said, you can use it to distress also, but it also cleans up those little rough edges if you just run it over it real gently. I want to just kind of tailor these corners a little instead of having just those real sharp corners. Round those up just a little. So I don't know where you live, but where I live, it is a wonderful, beautiful, amazing fall day. It's been raining, the wind blew a little earlier, and the leaves were falling, and I opened the window a little bit so I could smell it, even though it's kind of chilly outside, and oh, I'm loving it. My dogs are loving it. They were out actually playing in the rain. But I love it. I'm so ready to get past summer. It's just been, we've had so much drought. My flower beds died because we weren't allowed to water outside. So it's just not been the typical way things were this summer, and I'm ready for it to turn cool. I don't want it to turn freezing cold up in the north, especially where people, it sounds like there are going to be shortages for heating fuels and things like that, but I am certainly ready for some relief from this hot, dry summer. Okay, just about to get this done. Yesterday was just like a summer day. I mean, it was beautiful. My daughter couldn't go on the field trip with two of her sons that are in the same grade. And so I went on the second grade, I guess it is, field trip yesterday. And it was gorgeous. I mean, just shirt sleeves and beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then today it's chilly and wet and overcast, and I'm loving it. So it's been really nice. All right, we're going to just glue this down. Smear some glue around. It's coming out kind of slowly. My daughter, she was so funny. She called and she said, do you want to go to the field trip? And I was kind of like, what is it? Where is it? And she said, well, it's this big, like a pumpkin patch thing, and it's like over an hour from us. I was like, that's a long drive. And it's a hard drive. It's traffic and a hard drive. And she said, I told Nate that I couldn't go. They have two brand new litters of puppies, and she said, I told Nate that I couldn't go, that I had to stay and take care of the puppies. And he said, well, can Gummy go? Well, so, you know, that meant I was going. If Nate said, can Gummy go? There was no other. Yes, Gummy would go. So I did, and it was a lot of fun. And there are two of them, so we got to be together, and it was fun. It was really neat. This place is amazing. It's south of Fort Worth, almost to Cleburne, and it has all the pumpkins and all the decorations, all that kind of stuff. It has rides. It has all kinds of activities. And of course, this is their fall pumpkin patch type thing, but they have other things there also, like they raise Christmas trees, and you can go there and cut your own Christmas tree. They have a grape vineyard, and they do wine. So I'm sure they have like wine tasting, maybe things like that. Anyway, it was just really neat. And they do a lot of other stuff too. So anyway, it was kind of fun, and I didn't even know it existed. So it was really pretty neat. I think we're going to do something like this. Then I have these little flowers, and then I'm going to put the sentiment across there. That word's hard for me. And see what can come up with. Not sure. I don't know. I'll need to get the sentiment on there before I decide how I'm going to do that. Okay, so what I was going to show you for today, let me kind of clear this space. I was going to show you double embossing. Now, I already have mine done, but I want to show you the process. So let me get my Misty out here. Excuse all these other things that I have on my Misty. I've got several projects going. But I want to show you this double embossing. So let me get my stuff kind of ready here. I'm going to do Thinking of You, and I hope it works. Of course, now that I'm on camera, it probably won't work. That's usually the way it goes. I've done it all morning, and it's been working great, so we'll see. So I'm making a bunch of these cards for something else. So anyway, I'm sorry I'm kind of probably off camera here for you, but we're going to ink this up. I'm just using VersaFine ink. I think it's a pigment ink. It stays wet, you know, pretty good, so it works pretty good for stamping. Let's see, I thought I had a little, I like to use a paper towel or something to rub across there. All right, so I'm going to take this off. Let me move my Misty real quick. Close that up. I'm going to emboss this very quickly. I'm using just clear embossing powder over that black VersaFine ink. Now, we take the embossing tool up. I've kind of got close quarters here. Heat it up just a minute. Sorry for the noise. You could certainly use that. It's nice, it's thin, it's very, I mean, it's beautiful, just like that. But I wanted it where it stood out more. So I decided that I would double emboss it. So we're going to put it back in here. You've got to be sure and get it right back up into that exact same space in your Misty. And hopefully, like I said, I got it up in there good, I hope. It's kind of course, warped a little from the heat. So we're going to re-ink. Re-ink it real good. We're going to do it down over the top of that. Take it out. See how much heavier it is? You're going to cover it again and emboss again. And now see how much thicker and heavier it is? So that was more the look I wanted, so that it would stand out on this card. So that's how I did it. I'm going to put this right over here because I don't want to take all the time to cut that down and do everything. So let's bring our card back. And I've already done that on this one, the exact same process. And I cut it, I rounded and sanded it just a little bit, and then put it on another piece of this. And you know, I think I was doing it this way. I think I may see about doing it this way. And now I also want that on a piece of white. So thinking, let's just go ahead and put it on the white, and prepare that, and then we'll decide if which direction we want it to run. This is kind of textured paper, so I'm using a little more glue than I normally would, just to be sure that it holds good with that texture. The back side's actually more textured than the front. So let's get that on there. Okay, that's somewhat even. Got a little part of that end, maybe. Not standing above it here, so I'll probably have my head in your way. But anyway, let me get the glue off my hands. Okay, now let's go back to our little distressing and corner rounding. If you do have like a white core paper, I really like this because it's so much more control, I think, than just using the scissors or the distressing tools. You've just got more control. I keep this right here all the time. Okay, we're almost finished with that. I've been cutting and doing things to mass produce these so that I can do the set for our, we send cards. I know I tell you this every time, but we send cards to our shut-ins at church every month. Our ladies ministry does. And so this is similar to the card they're going to get this month. So I was cutting and doing all. Oh, I ordered a Big Shot. What's it called? I'm gonna have to look on it to know what it's called. The electric Big Shot, basically, anyway. It's the Switch Plus, that's what it's called. Oh my goodness, I love it. You know, I don't know if it's like a faster and all that kind of stuff for sure, to be real honest about it, but it's just so nice not to have to crank that thing. And kind of get this straightened out. I kind of didn't get it glued on there, just real straight. I'm going to put it on some foam, so I think it's going to be fine. But anyway, I'm loving it. I did these through it and all my die cuts. I was going to show you what die cuts I used. Here are some leaves and these little flowers that I think I'm going to use today. And I used these. I used these leaves. They come like this. It actually cuts all of this out of the paper, and so then you've got to go back and cut out around them if you want to use them like this. They're beautiful to use them like this on your card, and then have you know, mixed media behind them, you know, ink blending, something like that behind them. They're beautiful. But for this, I actually wanted the leaves in this real open lacy look, and so I just cut out around them after I ran them through the die cut. And then this little piece of flower foliage type stuff is from this set. It's a Sizzix set. It's a Tim Holtz Sizzix. I've got two different sets in here, but it's from this one. So those are the two die cuts that I used today. So let's see here how we want to do this. Like I said, I really thought I was going to run this the other direction, but now that I've kind of got it going, I may do it across like this. I just may. And let's do I'm kind of thinking I may go with something similar to that. And then I'll put this up on foam tape. No. Let's put it on the card base. It's much easier to do that before it gets all of that thickness to it. So let's get it on our card base. And I was stash busting. I didn't buy anything for this. I used scraps and paper that I have had in my stash for so long. Just really trying to do some stash busting and not spend a lot of money. So I might have chosen different colors, you know, that type of thing, but this is what I had, and I'm determined to use what I've got. So this is what we're doing today. Let's see if that's somewhat even. Okay. I really like it running up and down, but this thinking of you is so big that it runs from side to side. And then when you start putting these things in there, it gets... The other one I did for church, I did do it this way, but the sentiment was not quite this big. So I really think this one needs to run this way, just because it is so large. So let's get this up on some foam tape. I've got to be careful where I put my foam tape because all of this has got to go in under it. So I want to be sure and leave room to get things in under there. Probably should put a little bit toward the ends though. We have, like I said, I have 1,000 things I should be doing this afternoon instead of this. My niece is getting married next weekend. I'm supposed to be writing a poem for the rehearsal dinner. I made the mistake of writing one for my nephew's rehearsal dinner. So like just a day or so ago, my sister says, well, you think you can churn one out for the rehearsal dinner? I'm like, that's a week away. Thanks for the long notice. But I've just about got that under control, I think. I'm going to type it up and I'm going to send her it isn't the final copy by any means, but send that to her. And then I got to start, I'm going to have company between now and then too. I've got to kind of start getting ready to go to that wedding. Okay. Right, there's the sentiment. Now let's just see where we want to place these things. I kind of want it coming, I think, this direction. Like so, maybe. I have to cut that one down a little. So that they kind of look like they're, you know, coming out of the same place. And then I'll put these little flowers in among. I really like the bottom one, I think. So let's see about that little flower. Probably right in there. So let's get the bottom ones. I think I like that. I wonder if these are larger, maybe I should switch them out though. See if these fit a little better up here. They might. I think maybe they do. Okay, so then we'll put these down here. Something sort of like, I'm still gonna have to cut it down just a tiny bit, but not much. Maybe not, we'll see. All right, let's start with this one. Get it in there and then we'll build off of this. Not gonna put much glue, just to get this held down. It doesn't need much. Okay, there's that. Love my Nouveau Deluxe because even that little smudge and smear isn't going to show. You may need to just cut this one a tiny, tiny bit. Let's try that. Hope I didn't mess it up. There we go. Yes, it needed to be cut down just a little. That'll all dry clear and matte. It won't hurt anything. I think it needs to need a little more. Maybe like that. I have to stick a little more glue under there when I decide for sure what the slant on that one needs to be. Okay. Have you started your Christmas cards? I have. I'm going to try to do a video of that. The try is the operative word there. My life has just been so busy that I have not had time to do anything. This is what I'd rather be doing, but I just finished a litter of puppies. They're finally all gone, and I've just had so many things to do. So I haven't done a video in ages, and I was determined last time I started back doing videos that I was going to keep them rolling. Oh yeah, that lasted a long time. But I do love to do it, so I hope you give me a thumbs up so that my channel will come up. I hope that you subscribe so that when I do a video that it comes up, and just support me the best you can, even though I'm unreliable, and I apologize for that. I do the best I can. I hope you realize that. But I think everybody realizes that life just happens. Life just happens. And around here with 6 little grandsons and all of us kind of living, you know, very near each other, life really does happen. I decided for sure that one of them came home. His mom had to go pick him up this week. He had strep, but he's well now. He's doing good. Okay, I don't know. The only thing I'm not real sure about is this top one. I wonder if it was smaller, if I would like it. If it was just, maybe, let's try that. Let's try it just a little smaller. See if we like that. Yes, I do like it smaller. Okay, I think that's it. I think that's going to be it. I'll show you the other card. I kind of made a mess there. I'll show you the other card. Let me kind of see if I can give you a little close-up of this. I can't. Let's see if I can get it on the thing. There it is. I can't hardly see my camera when I'm doing this. So there's the close-up. I love that little dotted Swiss embossing folder. I just think that's so pretty. And the double embossing just really gives that whatever you put on there a pop. The other's pretty, but it's fine, and in this case it was a little more rustic, and I didn't want it real fine. Here is, I'll let you look at this one. This is the one that I did for our ladies group with Everything Give Thanks. It'll have a scripture inside. I really like it better, I think, up and down, but my thinking of you sentiment that I wanted to use on that one just was a little bit too big to do the up and down. I think I really like this one better. I've got enough to make 15 of these to send to our shut-ins, and so anyway, I hope you either learned a technique or you just had fun watching today, and God bless, and we'll see you later. Take care.